before getting into digital products, it was really easy for me to get burnt out doing content creation full time. And digital products was such a good way for me to start supplementing income. Honestly, like digital products changed my life.
Hey friend, welcome back to the podcast. Today I have a very special guest for you, Maddy Garrett. Maddy is no stranger to my community members. She's been on the podcast before, but today we're talking about digital products. So if you have wanted to start a digital product or just have so many questions about it, this is going to be the episode for you. I recommend grabbing some paper or a notebook and getting into it.
You're the first repeat guest on this podcast, so I give you that crown. Woohoo.
Oh my God.
No big deal. No big deal. And we're going to talk about digital products and why they're so life-changing and why everyone needs to do one. But we're not going to make it very overwhelming because that can happen quickly. Okay. Digital products can be so many different things. I'll just brief listeners on like what they can be. So like a course, a PDF, somebody downloads, a quiz, a masterclass, they could watch a video, a whole gamut of things. And I guarantee people have downloaded those things before, especially if you listen to this podcast. I'm sure you have downloaded something from me. So when you're creating a digital product, I think people are like, okay, this thing sounds fun. I'm going to create this digital product PDF on this topic, and I hope it does well. But tell us why that is a bad idea and why we need to vet the topic of our product before we create one. Why do we need to do that? How should we do that?
So I think a lot of people get into the digital product space, and I think there's like one of two people. One is, I just heard about digital products and I want to make money online. So like, I'm going to pick something random to sell and then just like sell it online. I feel like that's one group. And then the other group is someone who has a passion for something. Maybe they have a following already around a certain niche or topic, and they're like, I'm passionate about this thing that I want to sell a product on. So I think those are kind of the two camps that people are in. And I think people in both camps usually make the mistake of just being like, okay, cool, I'm just going to pick this thing and sell a digital product on it. And what I really recommend doing is doing research about your product before launching it. And there's a lot of different ways you can do this. If you already have an audience, even if it's a small audience, you kind of have a leg up on this because you can actually like poll them and ask what they would want resources around, and that'll help inform what your digital product should be about. But if you don't have an audience, what you can do, ask family and friends about your idea. Is this a good idea? And then do Google searches, like search for the topic that you want to do a digital product on. Is there anything else out there on this topic? Is this a highly searched keyword? If so, great, you have a validated idea. And I think people get into it and they think, oh, well, if other people are selling what I want to sell or like around the same topic, then I shouldn't do it because it's oversaturated. That could not be further from the truth. That's actually total validation that your product is sellable and that people are looking for it and want to buy it. It's actually way harder to go in and sell a digital product that no one's sold before because you have to create the market. You have to validate the market. Mm-hmm. And so Googling your topic and seeing, are there other ebooks on this topic? Are there other, people selling digital products on this topic? You can search on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and just see what's happening around this topic that you want to sell on. But validate your idea before you jump into it, because like if you jump into it without validating it, and I've done this before because I've been doing digital products for a while and like I didn't really know what I was doing at first. And so I just like created a digital product and launched it. And throughout my career, I've launched a bunch of digital products and some of them were complete flops. And I'm like, oh, why? Oh, because I literally didn't validate the idea. Like people didn't like this and I didn't realize that. But if you have any kind of following, post your idea on your stories, put up a poll, see if it's something people are interested in. And if people are genuinely interested in it, you'll know and you'll be like, great, okay, let's do a digital product on this topic.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The power of just asking people what they want. And then it's like, okay, great. I love that you talked about that it's not oversaturated. Like, oh my God, if you've ever been on Etsy, if you've ever fallen into the trap of like, oh, maybe I'll sell a digital product on Etsy, and you go to Etsy and you search in like like planner. There's literally 50 pages of planners. There are so many, and that's a good problem in some ways because we already know it's a good idea, and that's all we need. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your digital product journey, how you started, where you are now with it? I would love to know.
Okay, so I started my digital product journey, almost 2 years ago. So before that, I was doing UGC full time, and I just had people asking me a ton of questions. How did I get started with UGC? How do I get into UGC? All that stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I could teach people how to do this. So I just started a account to basically give people tips on how to become a UGC creator. And this was on TikTok at the time. I first started out with just like a free UGC guide. It was like a simple 10-page guide with just the basics of UGC. So that was technically my first digital product, but it was free. So that was the first thing I created, and it was just in the link in my bio. And when people came to my TikTok, sometimes they would go and click on that. And then I had a lot of interest in that. Like people were downloading that like crazy. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. And then I went on to create my first 2 paid products. And again, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know like what a digital product business was at that point. I just was like, oh, people want to buy things. So I'll like sell a PDF basically. So I started with selling a pitching guide. And again, this was a short, like 5-page, maybe 10-page PDF about the basics of pitching and some example pitches. So that was the first digital product I sold. That was $17. And then I sold a list of 250 outdoor brands. And this was just like the name of the brand, their Instagram handle, what category they were in. So basically like giving them a list of 250 brands that they could go then pitch on Instagram. And I sold that for $27. So those were my first 2 digital products. And again, I really didn't have a lot of market validation for this other than what I was posting on TikTok. People would comment and ask questions, and a lot of the questions were around pitching. So like that was what most people had questions about. So I kind of had it validated a little bit in the sense of, okay, people are curious about how to pitch for UGC. So I launched those and it was super successful. I made, I think like $3,800 in my first month, just like selling those on TikTok. And that was kind of crazy because I had never sold anything online like that before. It wasn't even like I was being super salesy with it. I just literally had it in the link in my bio. And I was like posting a lot of educational TikToks, and it took off. And I was like, oh my God. This is actually crazy. Like, how did I just make that much money selling like a $17 thing? Like,
Yeah,
it was
totally.
wild to me. But that was the beginning of my digital product journey. It was just those 2 pretty simple PDFs that I sold. And then from there, kind of sold some different digital products throughout the last 2 years. Ended up doing like a course that I sold for like $88. And that was like a more in-depth UGC course. And then kind of transitioned to like higher ticket coaching. And then I moved back to courses and digital products. I kind of been all over the place, but have done some digital product stuff in the past 2 years. And now the main thing that I sell is a program. It's like a course with a little bit of a community aspect. And that I sell for $897. And I would like kind of consider that a digital product. It's still in the digital product space, but definitely falls into like the coaching category. But yeah, that's kind of been my journey over the last 2 years.
Crazy what a $17 PDF can do for you.
Yes, it is totally possible to make $3,800 in your first month of selling digital products. However, I don't want you to go start a digital product and have that same expectation. The reason Maddy made that much money, I would like to speculate, in that amount of time is because she has such an engaged audience who loves her. And then she worked really, really hard to get them on board with what she's selling. The working hard is a given. I know that you work hard too. But I can't help but think that part of the reason that contributed to that success is because of her engaged community. So once again, don't be sleeping on your community. And especially, oftentimes with community building, we think that we just need to get like more people in our community, like more and more and more and more. when really the people who are in your community right now are the people who are going to be buying that $17 PDF over and over again, not the brand new people who just found you. That is super important, and I want you to keep in mind. Now, I have a little bit of homework for you. I know. But I want you to think about what you share and what you know and what you have already experienced that you could bundle up in a $17 PDF. And it doesn't have to be a PDF, but I just want to get your gears going here because I'm sure you have some knowledge that you could give away that somebody would buy from you. I have a whole episode dedicated to digital products, but I would recommend starting with frequently asked questions you get and what you like to share about, as well as what consistently resonates with your audience.
That's awesome. I love that you just noticed, like, what are people asking me about? And then you thought, oh shit, okay, they're asking me about this thing. I know I can answer it. Let me put a paywall up about it, which is fine and no problem. And really cool that you just were paying attention to what people were asking you about. Okay, some of the best ways you found to market your digital products. What's your favorite way? And what would you say is the most effective way? It's okay if they're the same answer.
Yes. I think they are a different answer, actually. So I would say my favorite way to market my digital products is Instagram Reels. It's just so easy. And with a chat automation feature, it's just like it automates your business so much. It's so simple. It can be fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love content. I love social media. So like it's easy and fun for me. And you can really, once you like figure out how to go viral and like how to get people to comment the keyword to get your thing, like it makes everything so much easier. So I feel like that is my favorite way and also very effective. But then I would say the most effective way to sell your digital product is by showing up in your Instagram stories and selling directly. So I do this every week, multiple times a week. I come onto my Instagram story and I'll post about, a student win or something like that, something that's happening inside of the program, new students who have joined, UGC tips, personal wins, or what I'm going through in my UGC journey. And then I'll basically say, if you want to learn how I did this, or if you want to join these students who are seeing this success, reply this keyword to the story and I will DM you the link to join my program. This does so well. So well. And for a few reasons. A, I show up on my stories and people connect with me. It's personal. I just like show up as myself and people connect with me. People like that. And two is like actually Instagram strategy. The number one indicator of if your story is going to perform well is the number of replies that you get to your story.
Fun.
And the reason that this is, and Meta has come out and said, the place where people spend the most time on the Instagram app is in DMs. So if you can get people in DMs, that's where they want people to live, and they're going to incentivize that because that's what's keeping people on their platform. More than reels, more than comments, more than anything, it's DMs that they like push people to be in. So getting story replies is the key to boosting your story views and engagement. And when I use an automation that is like, reply this keyword and I will DM you the link. Oh my gosh, my story views quadruple. I'm not kidding you. Like it's actually insane. Like
when you put that on your actual story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Clever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'll just do a single story. It's a photo of me. I have some text on screen and I'll say, reply this keyword. And I get so many story views. It's actually insane. Once I learned that, I was like, oh,
this
great.
is it.
This is it. And it's such an effective way to sell your digital product and to start conversations with people in the DMs. And one other small thing I'll touch on here is sales. People love an excuse to buy something. Give them a sale. No, for real. Like I just ran a sale last week. I was like, first day of spring sale, my favorite day of the year. Let's do it. $200 off the program. People were eating it up. I had like 10 people sign up that day. And I was like, great, we love this. So like people love a sale because when you're showing up consistently with your reels and your stories, people are watching, people are following along. You'll have people who will watch your stuff for a year before buying your digital product. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I have people jump in all the time who are like, "I've been following you forever." And I'm like, literally so random that you just signed up, but, like, I just did a sale. So, like, they were just like, "Okay, it's finally the right time." You know what I mean? So, sales are also a huge way to incentivize people to sign up for, like, your digital product.
There's so much here. I feel like you crush the stories. And I think like when we're on watching reels, at least because I'm on the marketing side, my algorithm is on the marketing side of the internet. But when I am consuming reels, a lot of it is like, buy this thing. Like it's very clear that somebody is trying to sell something to me. And I'm
Yeah.
not mad about it. It's just what's happening. But on stories, it's much more like, oh my God, like what are you telling me? It just feels much less like selling, even though there's great ways to make reels that don't feel like selling. But I think stories, I always read through them. I always read through people's stories, especially when they're talking about like a new offer they're making, because I'm so nosy and I need to know like I might want to buy it. Like I want to know what this thing is.
I don't know about you, but my side of the algorithm is full of just people trying to get me to go to their free webinar on how to make like 80K overnight. And I'm a little bit sick of it. But that's my own fault because I truly anticipate when I get onto Reels to see things like that just because of what I've fed my algorithm previously. It knows I'm interested in learning about marketing things and sales and all of that. But on stories, even if it's somebody who, let's say I followed them from a reel because I was interested in learning about their like copywriting something, for example. When I click on their story, I'm not like fully anticipating to see sales stuff, but I do, and I love it. And I love it because it doesn't feel like they're selling me. It feels like they're just like telling me about what they do. And I think that's so epic. Stories is something I want to get better at doing, better at making. I need you to go and follow Maddy so that you can watch her stories and see what I mean and take notes because they're so good and you can learn just so much just by following people who have digital products or services and watching their stories.
I have always wondered this from people who I see who I think make incredible like stories selling their products. Are you planning out the stories ahead of time or are you like, I know it's my time this week to share. I need to share a story about my product. Here I go. I'm going to do it. I'm going to use like what I constantly say to sell the story now, or do you think about it ahead of time?
So the only thing I really think about ahead of time is my sales. So like I discount sales. So I plan those out in advance. So like I know when my next sale is going to be. And I usually do one like every other month.
Yeah.
And so I have those planned out. Other than that, no. Like
Okay, good.
I just show up every day and I'm like, what do I want to talk about today? Is this a good opportunity to talk about the program or not? And I don't do it every day. I know that there's a lot of digital product people who will be like, so you have to sell every day. You have to sell every day, every day, every day. And I just don't because I think I value the like connection that I have with my community and I don't want to push a product on them every day. And that's just a personal thing. But as you know, as I know, the more you sell something, the more it sells. So like the more you talk about it, the more it's gonna sell. And so if you want to talk about it every day, do it. I feel like I post about my digital products or programs maybe like 3 or 4 times a week on my stories. And then I'll have like 2 days a week that I post on my stories where I don't talk about my program at all. It's just kind of like either behind the scenes or me talking about something. But yeah, I don't really plan it out.
Okay, cool. I wonder this so much. I'm like, people like they're like so eloquently stated in their stories. I'm like, okay, the pressure I feel to like write the next slide as it's like it's been like 2 minutes. Yeah, the stress. Okay, that's amazing. Good to know. I do love that too, of when people post things about their behind the scenes. Like everybody freaking loves behind the scenes. We're just all nosy as hell, and that's fine. But it feels like I know them better, and then I'm like, okay, I know you better, which means I kind of feel like I trust you better, which means the next time you post about your story, selling your thing, I'm gonna buy it.
100%. This like randomly made me think of something I want to touch on too, because what I was thinking is the past couple weeks, I'm in the midst of launching a podcast. And so I've been posting, I know, yay. I've been posting on my stories, asking people for their opinions on the name of the podcast art, what days I should release my podcast. Like I'm very much involving my community. That has nothing to do with my programs, not selling them anything. It's just like I genuinely want their feedback. I want their input, and it kind of makes them feel like, oh, they know me. Oh, they're like part of this community. And that made me think of taking your following along for your journey of creating your digital product. So
Yes.
I always do this whenever I'm creating a digital product. Like we said, first point is validating your idea. So like coming to your audience, asking if what they want to know about, if your idea is something that they would purchase. And then literally the next like month or two of creating your digital product, talk about it. Talk about the process of creating it, what you're excited to be creating within the digital product that day, asking people questions about what they want to see in the digital product. Like it's so important to take people along on the journey. They get to know you a little bit more personally. They get to see the behind the scenes. And then it's just doing pre-marketing for you, and it's hyping up the product so that when you launch it, people are like, we know exactly what this is. We know you've been working on it for a while. We trust you. We trust what's in this digital product. You launch it, they're buying it.
Heck yes. I literally bought a digital product from someone because I watched her build it. I was like, hell yeah. Like, I know exactly what this is. I've had weeks of opportunity to ask like her questions about it because she's been creating it. And then as soon as it was ready, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm there. I'm ready for it. So awesome. I love that building in public thing. It can be a little intimidating, but I think it's so fun. It's like, oh, look, you're actually working on something for your audience. It's so freaking cool.
It is intimidating, and like
Yes.
that's so okay if you feel nervous. Like
Totally.
I think people are just like, oh, what if like nobody responds, or what if nobody cares? Then it's like, well, first of all, then maybe you have the opposite of validation. Maybe it's like, oh, maybe people don't want to hear about this. Like maybe I should be doing my topic about. But also it's like, just show up, just do your thing, just post. Like
It's not that
nobody
deep.
knew. It's literally not that deep.
It's freaking fine. Speaking of that, you helped me do this, but how does one not get so caught up in like thinking 20 steps ahead of their digital product journey? Like when you're creating a digital product and you're building a funnel, and I will share mine soon briefly with you on this podcast, but how do you not get caught up in thinking like the 20 steps ahead and just focus on what needs to happen next, or like not even thinking about oh, if this happens, then we need to do that?
Oh my God. Ooh, even I struggle with this still when I'm launching things, because I am such like a long-term person. I love the analytics. I love to plan. And so it's hard to just be like, okay, I just need to do the one thing that I need to do today. And I know that in a month, this digital product will be done. Great. And I think that's what you need to focus on is, what can I do today that is going to help me do what I need to do tomorrow? And like, that's all you need to think about. Because when you try to, let's say you're just building a digital product, your mind is what? Your mind is immediately going to go to, well, I don't know how to set up a funnel. Do I need to have an email list? Do like all the people talk about all these things. I don't know how to create reels that sell, blah, blah, blah. None of that matters right now. You don't even have a digital product to sell. Okay. So maybe let's focus
Yeah.
on just building the digital product. So that's my advice, is like, stop worrying about problems you don't have yet.
Life
Don't-
advice.
No, literally, like it's with building any business. It's like, just focus on today, focus on this week, and you can face things as they come down the line.
So true. Okay, I'm gonna pause for one moment. Okay, love you, Matt, but if you're gonna eat a crinkly snack next to me while I'm doing this, please remove yourself. Thank you so much. He's got like a muffin in like a paper bag. I'm like, okay, thanks. Okay. That is fabulous advice. Marie, can't wait for you to cut this out. Or leave it in. Okay. Common mistakes you see creators make, or maybe even some that you made in the beginning when you started to create and market your digital products? Or if you're just like, I don't know, if someone is starting now, you're like, don't do this mistake. Don't do this thing. What should they not do?
I feel like the biggest thing I see, and this isn't just with digital products, this is with literally any business that you try to start. Like I see this with UGC creators, I see this with people starting digital products, is they get really passionate about it for a couple weeks and they like dive into it, and then it gets hard. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I actually have no idea how to set up a funnel. I'm overwhelmed. This is a lot. I have to watch a lot of YouTube videos to figure this out. This isn't fun anymore. Like, and
Yeah.
then they stop, or they get to the point where they're like, great, I created the digital product. Now I'm posting about it consistently, but like I've only made 2 sales and it's been a couple weeks and this sucks. And they give up.
Mm.
And
Ooh, no.
I know. And it just sucks because, you know, you hear stories like mine where it's like, oh my God, I created these 2 digital products. I made $4,000 in my first month. And people think that's the normal. And that's what they should be seeing. And if they don't, it means they're either selling the wrong product or they're just not cut out for this. And I want you to know that that's not true. And I was lucky. I was in a good market. UGC was booming. I had a lot of knowledge around this topic. I was already really comfortable in front of a camera. I'd been doing UGC, so I knew how to sell stuff online. Like I had experience, whether it was in digital products or not. Like I had all of the little ingredients that I needed to like make this thing work. And not everyone is coming from that background. And not everyone is in a super, super popular booming niche like mine was at the time. And that's okay. Your digital product business might take 3 months for you to make your first 10 sales. That's not uncommon.
Yeah.
And just know, like any business, it takes time to build your reputation, build your audience, build up the skills to market your digital product, learn about what messaging your audience resonates with.
Okay, it's time for me to introduce you to something called the pit of despair. Now, I had always learned about the pit of despair in the context of business building or content creation or anything like that, and I didn't know it was legitimately an experiment some crazy man did with monkeys. Yeah, you can Google that later. But the pit of despair that I know is that when you start something, you're like, this is the best idea ever. This is the best idea I've ever had. Then you're like, this is going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Then it's like, right, this is a little harder than I thought. This is a little harder than I thought. Then you start questioning why you're even doing the thing that you're doing. Then you hit the pit of despair. And that is where you're like, I feel like I've hit rock bottom. Like I don't even know. I don't even know what I don't know. I don't even know what to do. This is what Maddy is talking about. A lot of creators hit the pit of despair and they stop because they're like, it's really hard. Yeah, it is really hard. But you just have to keep going, and I hate it. I hate talking like this because it's so cliche, but unfortunately the cliches have something to teach us because they are true. You just have to keep going because then it will work out. So after the pit of despair, you need to start leaving the pit of despair when you start making questions like, okay, maybe we can do this. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better, but is this effort that I'm putting in worth it? And then you hit the like, okay, we're doing it. And then you get to the part where you're like, I'm so proud of what I've built. That is the pit of despair. So if you are in the pit of despair, I didn't really realize that I have just kind of left the pit of despair. I'm just exiting the pit of despair. I'm on the elevator as we speak from that, and I didn't even realize that until I'm speaking it to you right now. But it takes time. Maddy was, like she said, maybe a little bit lucky in this situation, and it's so easy to be like, oh, I can do that, and if I didn't do that, then I'm unsuccessful. But no, I couldn't say it better than what Maddy had said. Social media wants us to believe that it will happen overnight. But Maddy is here to be like, hey, this is what I did, but I recognize that that's not going to be possible for a lot of people. And that's not what she like preaches and teaches. Even in her UGC program, which I'm a part of, by the way, she's not like, listen, You can go literally quit your job tomorrow because you just started this program. She's like, this is going to take you at least 3 months of hard, dedicated work. Maddy really is such a gem. Like, she's so down to earth and such a badass businesswoman. It's so awesome. Highly recommend following her, connecting with her. Let her know I sent you there. But if you are considering joining UGC, I have a link for you where you can get discount on the program in the show notes. And feel free to come and ask me any questions you have about the program. I'd be happy to answer them.
The program that I sell now, I ran it as a live program back in August of 2024. And then I ran it again in November of 2024. August 2024, huge success. It like went so well. We launched, I sold a ton of spots. It was amazing. I launched it again in November and I sold like 1/3 of the amount of spots. And I felt so horrible about it. I was like,
What happened? Yeah.
and you know, this isn't the product I should be selling. And I got really down on myself, like as a UGC coach. Like actually, I like almost completely pivoted my business direction to like not be a UGC coach, which is crazy.
Maddy.
No, I know.
Maddy.
Like it was wild because I just thought people don't want this anymore, or like I'm not good at selling this, or I'm not a good coach or whatever. And so I was like, I don't know, this isn't what I should be doing. And I almost kind of gave up on that. And what I had to do was just sit with it and be like, what was different about the launches, and sit back and look at it from an analytical perspective. And once I did that, I was able to get out of my head a bit and be like, okay, this is probably kind of where things went wrong. And looking back at my past student results and testimonials and being like, okay, I'm not a bad coach. I'm actually really, really good at what I do. And I need to calm down. And I just tweaked it. I just tweaked what I was doing a bit. I slightly changed the model of the offer and what was inside just a little bit. Like there was not any big changes to my business. It was just perfecting the offer based on that data of that launch that didn't go very well. And it just led me to creating now what is the program that is so successful, has been doing so well for me now consistently for the past 3 months. And that is now my core offer.
Yeah. I love the idea that so for context, everybody, Maddy had a program that was like live launching, meaning like for a certain amount of time, you could join the program and be like part of a cohort. And then it closed and that was your people. Then it opened again and then you could join it only at those times. And now she's pivoted to make it open enrollment. So you can continuously enroll and join the community, which I think is fantastic. Do you feel like, oh my God, I wish I had done because you've kind of changed this live program into a digital product. And of course, like your program before still had digital product elements in it. It really was functioning the same, except now it's truly anyone can join at any time. Do you feel like that was a good, like, do you wish you did it sooner? Was it great?
Yeah. 100%. It just makes your life so much easier because live launching is exhausting and it's a lot, it feels for me more unpredictable. Whereas like I now have this offer, I can sell 24/7 and that just feels so much easier.
Yeah.
Because it's, it's open enrollment, it's evergreen. You can sell it at any time and it's not dependent on live launching.
Right. You're not like a seasonal worker who like has to make all their income during a certain period of time.
Also, and my main goal with this business, and something to think about if you're wanting to sell digital products, is eventually I want to put it on ads and just have it be able to sell itself without
Totally.
having to show up every single day on social media. Like I post like twice a day on social media. I post 2 reels a day. I'm on Instagram stories. I'm repurposing to other platforms. Like I'm doing the most. And while that's great, it's a lot of
exhausting.
Yeah. And I would rather have a funnel that I could set up, run it on ads, and then it's like, great, I can post like once a day or every other day on Instagram.
Yep.
And like can do the other work for me. But for digital products, I feel like that's the end goal, is so that you don't have to, for the rest of your business, be showing up every day on social media. The goal is for it to be passive. Okay. And the more passive, the better. And so if you can learn how to run ads on this thing, then oh my God, like I know that whenever that happens for me, it's going to be life changing.
Oh yeah, it literally will be because okay, what I want people to realize is like you are somebody who has been selling digital products for a long time and you know what to do and you know how to do it and you are still probably spending 10 hours a week just on like content creation to sell those digital products. So for somebody who is new, that's going to sound like so overwhelming of like, oh my God, here's Maddy who's been doing this for years and she is still spending that much amount of time creating content to sell people her digital product. But I think it doesn't have to be like super overwhelming for people. I think like they just need to create a few like core pieces of content and then like keep going off of that. Any advice for someone who is starting a digital product and they're like, okay, how am I supposed to post like 10 times a day? Like literally, what do I do?
I want you to know that it comes with time. And this is what scaling my business looks like. Like, if you want to chill at 5K a month on the side with your digital product, like, you do not need to be putting in as much work as I'm doing. This is like, I'm someone who wants this. This is my full-time income. I make a lot of money from it. I do it full time. Like, I invest a lot of my time and energy into it because I want to scale it.
Yep.
And this is what I do. You know, this is my job. Whereas I think people are getting into it and they're like, oh, well, like I have a 9 to 5 or I have another job and this is something that I'm getting into on the side. So like I don't have 10, 15 hours a week to be creating content and then also creating the digital product and like all this stuff. And I'm like, you don't have to start where I am 2 years in. Like,
Yes.
this is 2 years in. And you can do it on the side, like 5 hours a week. And that's totally fine. And you can start off by making $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. And from there, if you're like, great, this is something I want to do, I want to take this full time, then scale it, baby. Like that's how you do it. You start slow, you kind of start small, and then you can ramp up to like where I am right now, where I have like $4,000 in overhead costs every month, paying an agency, paying a VA, having my business subscriptions. Like that's a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
And that's because I make a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be doing this if I wouldn't hire an agency and a VA and all these things if I had just started out. Like that's not how you start. You start small, you grow, and then if you want to scale, then you get to this point.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I love that. It's such a good reminder. Okay. Speaking of content, we have to talk about, okay, so Maddy suggested for me, she was like, Laura, you need to be creating top of funnel content. And I was like, okay, yes, let's make some mysterious content. Tell us about top of funnel content for somebody who doesn't know and why it can be so beneficial for selling digital products.
I love top of funnel content because it's so easy to make and it's so effective. So basically, when we say top of funnel, the funnel is referring to how people are coming into your buying your digital product. So imagine a funnel. At the very top of the funnel, it's like the widest part of the funnel is all of the people who are new to your world. And so with top of funnel content, basically that's fancy term for reaching people who don't yet know about you and who also probably don't yet know about the product that you're selling or even the problem that they have that your product is solving for them. So like my top of funnel content as a UGC coach looks like a reel that, you know, has a beautiful view of me camping. And I have text on screen that's like, one day I realized I could become a 6-figure content creator without being an influencer. And now I wake up to views like this every day. Okay. That is top of funnel content. I am reaching my ideal audience, people who are outdoorsy and who like to travel and people who want to make money. And I'm targeting them and they see that and they might not know what the heck UGC is. They don't know who I am, but I've piqued their interest because they're like, what? I want to do that.
Totally.
They're like, that sounds so cool. And so top of funnel is just reaching those people who don't yet know about you, might not know about what you offer. And you're targeting them to say, hey, let's bring them into my world.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, it's like the mysterious content. It's kind of like vague.
Yeah.
Like top of funnel content is a bit vague because the more specific you get, the less people who understand what you're talking about. And
So true.
top of funnel content, it's broad, it's vague, you're drawing people in, and then your content gets more and more specific as people go down that funnel.
In case you missed it, I released an episode called Exposing My 2025 Digital Product Strategy that you can go and check out and learn everything I did. So it might be really interesting to listen to that episode and then listen to this one, or maybe vice versa. But let me know if you go check that one out. Highly recommend. You can learn everything I'm doing to build, ideate, sell my 7-day newsletter program, Digital Product.
Okay. I know that you are a believer in the low cost digital products people aren't that interested in anymore. And by low cost, we mean like the buy this thing for like $9 to whatever, $19 or something, because it's more just like advice. Is this true? Okay, well, tell us what people want. What do they want instead?
So we've talked about this a little bit. And while the low cost digital products can be great for someone just coming into your world and they want a bit more info about the topic that you're selling on. And listen, some low ticket digital product sellers, super, super successful. This isn't to say that's not a valid business model. It is. But what we're seeing with this industry right now, people are kind of tired of these low ticket digital products. So like the $17 guide, the $27 guide. And the reason is it's just info. And there's no accountability. There's no real action oriented pieces to it. And that is what will get you loyal customers, repeat customers, people who swear by you and what you teach, is when you give them something that is actionable, when you provide them with accountability, when you actually help them implement what you taught them. And so that is exactly why I created the program that I created with UGC, because I had two offers. I had a lot of offers, but I mostly had two offers. I had my high ticket, very hands-on coaching program. And then I had my course. And the course was like $88. The hands-on program was over $2,000. So like these were very different offers. And I realized people wanted a mix of the two. They wanted the hands-on accountability, they wanted the community, and they wanted this course, but they didn't want it at this high price point. And they didn't want the low ticket course because they would buy it and then never do anything with it.
Yes, so true. That's such a good point too.
Oh, like I did not get a lot of testimonials from that low ticket course. It wasn't because it was an amazing course. It was so good and there's so much info in there, but people didn't implement it. Like people feel self-accountability when they invest into something, whether that's $150 or $850. Like if they're spending more than $100 on something, it means something to them and they're way more likely to actually take action on that.
I want to know from you, when is the last time you invested in something for your creator business? And I want to know if the price determined your accountability in the program or in the course or in the digital product or whatever. Do you feel like when you pay more for something, you're more likely to hold yourself accountable to do that thing than when you pay less for something? Very curious, would love to know. Keep this in mind when you are creating your own digital products. You can ask yourself, would I buy my digital product? Would I keep myself accountable for this price point? And don't forget, my own digital product you can go and check out will be linked in the show notes for you to create a newsletter and send one to subscribers who love you in 7 days or less.
Okay, is there anything else you want people to know about digital products?
Honestly, like digital products changed my life. And as a full-time content creator, before getting into digital products, it was really easy for me to get burnt out doing content creation full-time. And digital products was such a good way for me to start supplementing income, and I loved that. And so then I kind of pivoted to doing part-time UGC and part-time digital products. And this is just a reminder to everyone, like, you can have a side hustle. You don't have to take everything full time. Like, if you don't want to do digital products full time, don't have it be a side
Yep.
thing. Like, keep your 9 to 5, keep whatever, like, do whatever you want to do. Like, you can make an extra $3,000 a month, like, just selling digital products. And that's freaking amazing. Like, how cool. I just think digital products is the thing right now where there's no reason not to try it. And there's so much growth potential. It's actually insane.
Yes.
If you have something that you're passionate about, if you have something that you have a lot of knowledge on, just consider doing a digital product. And it can be a really simple thing. That's a big piece of advice I have. Don't go straight to, I need to create a program. I need to create a whole ebook. I need to do a whole thing. You do not need to do that. You can do a 7-day challenge. You can do a PDF. You can do a 30-minute masterclass. You can sell something simple to start. Do not dive into, I'm going to create a whole program. I'm going to, don't do that.
Totally.
Start small. That's how I started. And it's how I recommend everyone starts. Don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah. So true. So good. Okay. I think that was amazing. If you have anything else, amazing. I feel like we got all the digital product tea. That was so fun.
I'm obsessed with digital products. I could talk about them forever, as we know.
I have really exciting news for you. If you've made it to the end of this episode, I know exactly what you're going to listen to after this. Maddy just released a podcast called Paid to Travel. And if you love Maddy or anything we've talked about today, you are going to absolutely love this podcast. Okay, I am literally so excited to listen to it. I didn't find out it was coming out until right now as I'm recording these words to you. But Maddy and I both had the same amazing producer, Marie, so I highly recommend any of your podcast questions, or if you are a creator or a coach who wants to start a podcast, Marie is your girl. But stick around for a few more minutes because Maddy's trailer for her new podcast is about to play. Thank you so much, Maddy, for joining us today. If you have any questions about UGC or digital products, feel free to reach out to Maddy or me and we'll be happy to answer them for you. I'll see you soon. Happy creating. Welcome to the side of the internet where we get paid to travel. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create UGC content to fund your adventures so you can spend the majority of your days exploring the world rather than sitting at a desk. If this sounds like a dream, well, it's actually not. It's my reality, and it could be yours too, without needing to be an influencer or travel blogger or photographer. I'm your host, Maddy Garrett, and in this podcast, we cover all things user-generated content. I've been working in this industry for over 2 years now and have made over 6 figures filming outdoor and travel UGC content part-time, and have now taught over 5,000 UGC students in my masterclasses, programs, and one-on-one coaching. I help everyday people just like you start your own UGC business so that you can achieve this life-changing freedom too. Tune into the Paid to Travel podcast every Monday if you also want to learn how to get paid to travel.